Hello there everyone, this is Mark 3 and welcome back to Transport Fever 2. Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and as you can probably guess, the feedback I got on the first part was positive, so hey, we are going to be in this game for a longer haul. What can I say? More trains! More trains, yes, more trains. I'm totally not dragging this part out because I've wanted to give it a little bit more time to earn some more money, to buy some more trains, because more trains, so yeah. Or something. Nah, I just figured I'd use this first part while we do what I said I totally wasn't doing, and let the trains roll around and get some more money. Speaking of, we can afford another train. Another train, another train, another train. Yes, please. You. Train 7, welcome to the fold. Get to work. But yes, I figured I'd address the 2 comments I got on the last video, so we can start out with that, and then we'll go back to cutting where needed. Which is honestly something I think has done a lot to increase the quality of videos since I started doing it regularly on Dyson Sphere program, second launch. Because someone else who's watching through that series said to me that the quality got a lot better when it hit second launch, which is when I started doing the cuts to alter the flow of the gameplay to the video. So yeah, I like getting feedback like that, and I'm going to be trying to do that more on games where it fits, and this is one of them. But anyway, that was not the comments I was talking about. The comment I was talking about is... Ooh, is that enough for another train? Not quite. The comment I was talking about is, well, let's start off with Damas, which is, he's surprised that the potato can play this game better than his computer can. I honestly found that quite surprising, must admit. Yes, I can get another train. Haha! And honestly, my thought is, it depends on the balance of the system overall. Oh, thank you. And for a long time now, my computer, which has definitely earned the nickname of the potato, has a fairly decent graphics card, so the game does look quite nice. There is that. But something that I don't think I ever mentioned to anyone is that I actually tried this game with I thought to recording like a year or so ago. It was just on a free weekend, so it'd be like, grab this for 5 episodes, because at the time I was doing those like weekly little game video sets, just for interest / variety. Something else, a thing I was trying on the channel. I thought, free weekend, let's download it. I'm interested. Let's see what it is. See how it goes. And it was actually not very good. It was even without recording software, it was suffering from frame drops and stuttering. Change the graphics didn't help, so I knew my graphics card was handling it with the settings involved, but the rest of the computer just wasn't up to it. So the graphics card, good enough. The thing that's changed since then and now, which allows this to be actually working decently, there's another train coming, okay, is the RAM upgrade a month or so back. I think it's, yeah, about just almost 2 months now, when I got a RAM upgrade, which will open the door for a lot of games that I couldn't really deal with before. What are you doing? 22. Okay, so you accelerated from a halt. This bridge does need an upgrade. The problem is the bridge upgrade is going to cost as much as a new train, so I'm trying to get the trains up first. Though that said, actually, we're almost at that point. So yeah, I think it's just the balance of my system versus what the game requires, rather than anything else. Yeah, this bridge has to be changed, definitely. Because this also takes into account when vehicles have stopped waiting, so I don't want this thing to get above... Can I change the size of these things? No, I can't. This thing needs to get smooth flowing, and if it do, it should hit 200, which is my target for this route. So let's go ahead and do that, because there's another train waiting as well. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Besides, a bit of building work never hurt anyone. I know that's definitely a lie, but hey, details. I'm sure those trains are very happy to have bumpers put in front of them. Okay. The other comment, which I found quite interesting actually. Oh good, it does mimic. It's already costing 50,000 for that stretch too. The other one is Yosemite Dan. So hey, welcome to watching Transport Fever, glad to have you along. Dan is someone I play regular multiplayer 7 Days to Die with, and he's been following Dyson Sphere second launch in particular. Let's get to there. Although I don't know if you can see this in the recording, but my frame was actually stutting a bit as I laid these tracks out and it was working out where the bridge paths were. Okay, that wasn't bad as I thought. About 500,000-ish. Okay, sequels. For one way, yes. And the comment is, Dan has seen a few people playing this game, right? And yet he's never really been interested in watching them. But then I'm playing it and he's actually kind of interested. Now, his thought is that, well, here's the direct quote from that part. Not sure if that is indicative that I know you. Thank you, Build Tip, I am aware. I just want to get these in place first to get the trains rolling. There we go, double bridge. And that should let things move a bit more smoothly. Yep, already this train has more speed going onto the bridge section, so that's good. I'm not sure if it's indicative that I know you and that makes it easy to tag along as you play, or maybe that I find those others annoying in some way. In fact, I would like to see more because I did find this entertaining. I wouldn't say the same about those others, I think, because some seem to complain about every little thing, or others seem to have this air of smug superiority. I feel like you're just playing and enjoying the game. That makes it good. Smug superiority. My dear boy, I do not know what you are talking about. I have no air of smug superiority. Now shut up and do what I say. Yes. Follow my example and become a true British player. Yes. No. Play how you want to play. If you're going to play. And you don't have to play. If you want to play something else, that's why other games exist. Flat out. And I don't know why that turned into a random piece of advice, but there you go. Okay, so I admitted this before in the first part, and I say the same in this part as well. It's I am pretty new to this game. Right, 184. Need to wait for it to smooth out a little bit. And that is, I did look around and poke around a bit. So I've got a little bit of early game knowledge on this game, but I've not really played deep into it at all, and this is really the longest I've ever stuck with any line in this game, so that tells you how deeply I assessed it. Not that far at all. Just watching that to make sure, but station time does space out the vehicles a little bit better as they go around. There is that. Save, thank you. I think part of it is because you might have been finding people that have been playing the game for a long time, so they have a lot of experience with it, a lot of knowledge. That might be the ones coming across as a quote-unquote superiority, depending on how they talk about it. The other thing, criticising and complaining, well, my view on that is every game has faults. Every person has faults. Nothing's perfect. If the world was perfect and everything was the same, imagine how dull and boring that would be. Oh good, I just missed a train parking on its line to get through there. I'm going to have to bounce this around a little bit at some point to remove those crossing points as a potential choke for it. Still at 182. I think maybe that I could do with one more train, but in the time watching and just talking about that, yeah. I think we're at the point where I can do that and call it done for now. Ta-da! New train. Yes, my minion. Come on. Move the stuff. Thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to show that, and thank you, because I did find that quite interesting, even if I've probably not had the most to say about it. I just keep falling back to everyone's different and all that, so someone with more experience with the game may have found more things they don't like about the game, and so they criticise it in the hopes that, hey, maybe something or someone will pick up the sentiment, or will influence change, or mod, or whatever. But yeah, every game has shortcomings. Like this game, I think I did mention this in the previous video, that one criticism I had is the lines and the line frequency. But this game does a much better job of it than the first game did, because the first game was so strict about it. Like I said, like a vehicle every 5 to 8 minutes, or the line wouldn't even be used. And this game is willing to populate lines that. One of my test games had a line that took like an hour between vehicle trips, and it was still getting used. So, yeah, it's the thing. Oh, one last thing I should probably mention is one criticism I guess I have is that I agree with the sentiment I came across while doing early checks into this game, that if you want to play the game on easy mode, and part of this is why I decided to do the trains only achievement run for this in my first time, even though the game is on easy, I freely admit that, because I'm still getting the hang of it, is boats are easy mode for early game. If you want to get a transport company rolling in Dosh super fast, use boats. And that's because you don't really have to lay out the infrastructure costs. You just put a dock, and then any industry or town near the water is accessible to your boats with minimal effort. So you put down a dock, then if it's slightly further away, or if it's a town, you can just put in some horse and carts and carriages to move goods around, and it's really quick. It's a bit on the slow side because the boats are big and slow, but they have high capacity, and that's where the money comes from. But yeah, I'm constantly avoiding that, and that's part of the reason why I decided to do trains. Speaking of, I need to look around and see if I can figure out what I want to do next with my line, because funds are rolling, earnings are sky high. We've been playing for 8 years, and I've got a 2 million surplus in earnings. And this train, for the moment, this train line is populated. So, what can I do? Really, I've got two options. I can either start a new line somewhere else, hopefully a high efficiency line like this, by which I means the goods carts on the trains are being used both ways, or I can try to expand this line, which actually looks doable at a glance. It means I won't have to lay out more line. There's a coal mine here, which I can plug into the one at the far end, so what I need is another iron ore mine somewhere near this one. There's one over there, although that's got a distance between them, and then that would have to run along there, ideally. Or this one over here, which is about the same distance, I guess. I wouldn't need to pay for another bridge, so the connection will be cheaper. I have to look at this topography. Oh, this one's up on a hillside close to the river. That's bad. The trains will struggle with that. But this one is mostly on the same level as the existing place. Ooh, I got an achievement. A fortune of 1 million without debt. So I've got 10 million debt, I've got 11 million in the bank. Most excellent. I think this one. This one because I put a train station here, and then it's the same level, so I can just plug into the existing track and bish bash boff, off you go. Same with this one here. So let's get started on some connections. I'm thinking of being a little tricksy here. Or at least I was, until I realised, wait, I need trains to come from here and get out to there as well. So I need to actually get a T-junction in this area. Which way do I want it to go? Well, I don't want it to go, well, upwards. because that might be an issue. So maybe flat along this way would be a better idea. That was said, if I go on this side, then trains will go here, and then they'd automatically go off without crossing the track. So that would be a potentially good thing to do. Got to bear in mind the. Yeah, let's do it like that. Get a slight upward slant. Thanking you. And the next link is there, which is actually not too bad. So, okay, so a little bit on the steep side, but that's okay. Like that, okay. So that's one connection, and then that will have to turn around, of course, and follow the line, which is about here, for a relatively smooth run all the way around to this part here. So that's actually not too bad. Look at that, it's almost flat. Flat is what I like to see. Well, kind of. Now, the other thing to note is this loop will, by necessity, be a bit longer than the existing line, but I plan to use the exact same train size on it. And I say that because I want the trains to be at the same performance, the same kind of acceleration, the same kind of speed lines. And ooh, we're going to cut through a forest. I did mention I have extra forests in the generation last time, if you recall, just because I like the look of the tracks going through the forests. Because it may be highlighting chunks of forest, but it is adapting the forest to the shape of the track very, very smoothly. So, surrounded by greenery on part of this course, which is more than welcome. Reminds me of curving mountainside track, like out in rural areas. It's like, this track winds and follows the hills because that is just the way it needs to do it. And that is basically the truth. Let's be honest, I'm trying to do the same kind of thing. Just a gentle curve, and we'll just continue laying this piece of track out. I do like getting into the wood areas on this. Maybe I should have turned wood generation up to maximum just so I could have more of that. But then again, that would have reduced the variety of terrain, I suppose. So I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. Also, I just got suddenly really paranoid. Suddenly remembered in Dyson Sphere that, hey, have I actually turned my microphone on? Yes, I have. It's just like, oh no, panic. Oh, it's okay. What can I say? I like a bit of nature in my games quite often. Far more often than not, I freely admit. Ultimately, connecting in the coal mine on this end was a lot easier, just because, well, it's a flat stretch. So this is what it's looking at right now. I've decided to go with double tracking the whole way, as you probably guessed from what I mentioned last time. Just so that it's already installed and ready, because I plan to populate this track in a hurry. I can afford a lot of trains, because despite all these rails going down, I still have just over 10 million. So I spent like $1 million and a bit on this connection. Though there is one more thing I want to try to add, though, which I'm not 100% sure on. Maybe it'll break something, maybe it won't. And that is, I want to actually get these lines using separate tracks at the industries. And I have mixed experience from my testing with this. Because I built single tracks here, right? Many games would force you to like demolish and build a new one. Like I might have to if I get more length on the things, that kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure. But this game does give you the option to modify an existing station. So you can see I can tack tracks onto it. I can build an additional platform for cargo or passengers. I can build all the modules that make up these things are available for things. Cargo buildings, I can give it a big warehouse if I want to. So you can customize the things here pretty nice. Like this is just like a small sliding map. But where you can snap things is sometimes a bit iffy. Like I can attach these to the things over here, that kind of thing. But what I want to do is, I think, add a cargo platform. Oh, that doesn't look right. Tracks. Now the problem is, if I had the track here, will it accept that? If I look, there is actually a row available for things, so maybe? Okay, so that's the entire length. If I go back out, it is saying the thing. Alright. I guess let's test this then. New line. Click. Add this station to it. Yes. And does it let me? Yes, it does! Hey, it works! I can tell it that I want to go on line 1 or line 2. It has added a line to it. Excellent! So that does work on train stations. I was concerned because I tried to expand boats in the game that I tested out boats and the easy start thing, and it didn't work very well. Maybe it's because there's a pre-existing line there. I don't know, but that is just a normal cargo platform, isn't it? So I guess I could maybe do that. So it looks okay, I suppose. That is the same length. You can tell I'm slightly nervous trying to work it out. And oh, it adds a little bit onto the end of that, so when it adds it, okay. Okay. Nowhere to put that. I'm guessing I need just like a flat platform section for it. Passenger terminus, cargo platform terminus. That's all okay. Okay, so yeah, it looks like I can expand these things without any issue. I just wanted to include that because it is a neat feature in the game, but it seems to be iffy if it works. Oh, I say iffy because I had no issues with it at all working on road vehicle terminal expansions. But this is the first time I tried it with a train. So I'm going to do that just to try and split the trains up a little bit and help them manage a bit better when they're coming and going. I need to roll the simulations forward slightly because I've been experimenting. It turns out that a cross section of track is entirely doable. It requires a minimum length to do it. So that's the thing that I need to work out. The signals were nice here for a single merger, but they were a bit too close for a cross track. Though for a moment I admit I was wondering, are cross pieces not actually possible? They should be entirely, given how flexible the rail system in this game is otherwise. But then I realised it was because it was colliding. If you look at how I'm laying it here, there is a blue section of track right in the middle, and that is because the actual splitting part is something that cannot collide with others of the same kind, but the blue part is where tracks can cross each other just fine. So that's the key part there. You've got to get it so that the blue parts intersect, while the actual merging parts do not. So it's finding the right size of it, really. So as you can see, this one, because it's curving to the left, has to be slightly longer to fit it in properly. But there it is, neatly intersecting, and we have ourselves a crosspiece. Though of course this means that doing more complex things might be out of the question, because can't do that because it's colliding, can't do that because it's colliding. So it's like only 1 to 2 divisions are possible, really, rather than multiple splits more complex than that. Which is fine, honestly. I don't mind it in the least, because having junctions that go multiple ways like that is actually a bit of a rarity in most cases. It's far more common, I think, for railway lines to only have you can go off onto this alternate line here, or this alternate piece of track here, rather than being able to have a switch that goes 1, 2, 3 or more positions. So yeah, this is far more likely, I think. Far more workable. As you can see, I've expanded this slightly so that the next resource line will be there. I'll use this one for output because that is about to be a thing that will be available to us in this. And this one, I added a medium building onto the corner of this one because this section is getting close to the road, and I'll just expand it that way, I think. Though I'll have to be figuring out how to plug in the actual thing to the railway line. So it looks like the section of yard for merging train lines into these things is going to get bigger as we make them more complex, which again is very realistic, actually. Very realistic. Anyway, moving on. Let's actually get to line 2 and get line 2 configured. You've already got Stratford. So you go to there, then you go all the way up here to Huntington, which is a long stretch. I need to put signals in for these lines still. Why are you not working? Why do you say no? Oh, I know why. It's because currently it's set to the wrong track. I want you to be on track number 3. There we go. So you can see, hash mark, multiple lines, solid colour, only one line using it. One line, then I need to run it all the way down here, using the existing track line to over here. Frennington, which it's because it noticed there's a free thing with less lines into it, it automatically self-assigned it to that, which is good. And then it'll pull off over here to get, whoops, that one. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to do the same with that I showed you last time, which is I'm going to restrict its orders so that it can't unload certain things. Like at Credington branch over here, it can only, this is going to be the opposite, so it's going to be able to unload iron ore but not coal, because that's what it brings. And then over here you unload coal but not iron ore, and that'll keep it from cross-contaminating like I did previously. So all that's left is to get signals and trains. More trains. Glorious, glorious trains. But mostly signals, and make sure I have them set to one-way work, so yes. Okay. So this is where we get to say, it begins. It begins! Yes! With all the long stretched out S. Yeah. Okay. It begins. Right. I just double checked and I wanted an identical train if you recall, so 2 of those. And then it's got a capacity of 48. I know this because I checked on it, so that's the size of train we're going to be having. Oh, that's 44. I want 48. There we go. Right. So there we go. So that's the capacity train we've got. 1.9 mil a pop. So yeah, the price does go up over time because the game does model inflation, all that jazz. Yep, 48. But you are going to go on to line number 2. Bing. There we go. Right, and what does it say? It says line number 2, 18. So because the track's slightly longer, it takes more time to go around, and so it has a lower throughput. That is entirely expected. Let's go ahead and spend as many as we can get. Which is 5. There we go, we've got 5 on the thing, which gets us not more than highway. So we're going to get like 11 or 12 trains on this thing. But the key part, of course, is the fact we're reusing existing infrastructure to get more transport going on. Oops, sorry, don't mind me. New train coming out. Sorry, train 7, that you had to slam the brakes on like that. Off you go. And I really do need to get this connection sorted out. It is a bit of a thing, so okay, yeah, notice that one ignored that siding and just went off that way. Where are you going to go? You are going to go again to the right. So I'm not sure what this is doing in terms of spacing. They're not sending anyone up towards the other mine. But that's okay. Come on guys, I want to see someone go left. There are connections which allow for left. Actually, no, there isn't. I tell a lie. There is one that allows you to go left to here, but there isn't one that allows you to go left to here. So that was a slight whoops on my part. This is not a fully functional thing, so they're just going naturally along the line that allows them to get to a different station without stopping off at the station first. Actually, no, that's wrong. That one goes to there. So they could have been going to there, but they're not. Okay. There's no one left in this depot, is there? There is not, but all the trains seem to be going that way. Okay. That's okay. I guess this was the main place a good thing to go to. Not that they're going to earn anything, of course, because they are travelling empty, but they are going to pick up coal as they go. So that was a slight whoopsie on my part. Hang on, I'll see if I can correct these junctions a little bit. Train 4 has been stopped for a little while. Not to worry, the game was paused, but it was also stopped for a good reason. Yes. I spent another cool million on another small track upgrade of sorts. Climbing up. Hey, look, a bridge! And then it drops down the other side. So, ta-da-da-da! I fixed that junction to prevent crossing the tracks. And it's relatively smooth, though admittedly getting the tracks to the height where it'll bridge across the existing track was actually a bit of a pain, I admit. Because I wanted to do this while also trying to avoid sending the slope up to maximum steepness. Or maximum slope, I should probably say. Let's clone and... oh, not quite enough. So I want to try and avoid that. So apart from this very close to the bridge here, which is maximum slope, this is all reasonable slope, so the trains can still move decent speed through it. And that'll let me do the things. So jolly good. And look at this, even though the train tracks do actually allow this, because I also double tracked this junction here, the trains still wanted to go off that way for some reason. Not entirely sure why. Not entirely sure why. But I can get another train. Bing. There we go. Now let's have a check over here. There was a train loading up with coal. I think, you're train 10, are you the very first one on that line? Yes, you are, so yes. Despite all things, it's only just loading up on coal on this end. That's all A-okay. I just want to make sure that the train tracks haven't jammed up at all. Kinda? One issue is that, gotta remember, these train tracks are... well, the stations are terminus stations, so the train goes in and leaves one route. Not the best for smooth flowing throughputs. For that you want a double-ended station, which is also more realistic, I admit, because it's not really realistic to say, hey, we'll take the engine and just pop them around the far end there. Normally I avoid that, to be honest, but it's also cheaper to build the terminus stations just because of that. I wonder, does it need signals? It can't be. It's because that train started moving first, so it turned around and it reserved this track section, so this train stopped. So yeah, converting the stations on the industries at least to double-ended would probably be a very smart idea. Or should I say a smirt idea? If it's me saying it, smirt is probably the thing, because it's one of my go-tos. But to be honest, that kind of takes me up to the end of the episode, because we are at half an hour. So I think the last thing we want to do is we want to watch this train go along the length. Oh, look at that, passing under that bridge there. Lovely. I actually tried to do a tunnel, but the problem is that this thing is going down a hill, so that didn't work out too well. So I used the hill to my advantage to get a bit of extra sloping in and put a bridge a bit further down it. So that's how I did that. But yeah, we kind of want to see these trains doing their business, so we can see that the new line is working quite properly. Now this should be slightly less revenue than the iron ore train gets. So that's something we can compare it to. An iron ore train that's coming in right behind it. But the delivery for delivery for iron ore from this end over here should be much better. Yeah, 737. So about 70,000 less, I want to say. So that shouldn't bother it. Yep, went straight through because there was no conflicting track reservations. So 737 versus an iron ore train to the same location, which gets 890. Ooh, 90. So that's 160,000 less for the distance. Oh well. Can't be helped. But if we check on here though, this train is doing what I said I like the appearance of, which is just like steaming on through the forests, past all the nature and stuff. I wish I knew how to get rid of those floating up maintenance charges for all the signals. I guess that's maybe my first complaint, that I don't know how to do that. I'll have to look that up, see if there is a way to stop it from doing that. But I did take a look through the options. I didn't see a way to stop it from doing that, but it just takes out the immersion slightly. I don't need to know that every single signal costs me $25. So it's slightly weird, that. Okay, moving on. Got your thing, and now you go downhill the rest of the way. And we just have to wait and see how much this thing actually earns. There should be another train coming up soon. There is another train coming up. That's because I accidentally hit space to pause it. That makes sense. But the throughput is rated at 120, so we can get some more trains into this. Because we have a bit more dosh. Wonder why the train stopped there. Yeah, because this thing is so close. I think this station here does need to go to a double end as soon as possible, really. Just to make the intake and outflow smoother. Because the last thing I want is tracks getting snarled up in traffic jams, which is honestly happening a little bit more than I'd have expected, but that's, I guess, partly because the trains are early trains, so they're very slow. So they can't actually clear this junction very quickly, and they load and unload relatively very quickly compared to how long it takes them to get through the junction. So that's probably it. Anyway, train 10, please take us down. Ooh, shiny! A new train engine capable of 45. Also a new passenger car which can do 50. Important thing to note is the speed of the train is limited to the speed of its slowest carriage. So it depends on how the train compares to its cargo. But let's have a look. What can that do? More power, more tractive effort, lower emission, slightly higher weight, but that's offset by the increase in power. And it's also got a better top speed. Increase in maintenance costs, but that is okay. So yeah, that's a potential upgrade right there. It'll increase the throughput of the trains and get things going. Very nice. Honestly, I was planning to cut ahead to when this train arrives, but the interesting thing of a new steam engine becoming available is very significant. But yeah, partway through 1862, first upgrade. I'll be installing those next time. We'll probably have to delete a train from track 1 or something because of the extra speed, to be honest. But well, it's either that or we increase the size of the trains. But the extra speed is actually the big issue because it's mostly flat track. Yeah. Oh, and something I forgot to mention when I was talking about Yosemite Dan, your comment there, sir. I'd actually forgotten to do that regarding in-game music versus everything else. Oops, slight collision there. That's okay. And that is that normal policy for me and an average overall is like drop game music to like 70 to 80%. And I have now done that, so hopefully the music bounces a little bit better for you. Let's see, what do you get? 1.26 million per trip. That is very shiny. And to be honest, as soon as we install the upgrades, like new engines, that's going to increase because there is a bonus based on speed. But for comparison, the last thing we'll do this episode is we'll get this train coming in with coal. Remember, it's got 1.26 on the iron ore, 811. So yes, this other track, this other route is more profitable per load it brings through. Very nice. But that said, until next time, this has been I Am Mark 3. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. And I'll catch you all some other time for some more Transport Fever 2 or Dyson Sphere or maybe a 7 Days to Die, whatever may be your viewing pleasure. Oh, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you all later.